Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Galactic Core podcast. Hope you've all been having a really Merry Christmas and a good festive period. I am here as always, as I have been for the last 9 days, to discuss each What If episode as they've been dropping. I am not at home at the moment. I'm actually away for a few days. So this is why you see me with a bit of a different background, and I'm having to film a little bit differently today. But first and foremost, if you aren't following or liking us on social media, jump onto Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube, and make sure you press that like button, press that follow button, and you can obviously find the show and the episodes across YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere and everywhere that you find your podcast episodes. Make sure you're jumping on there and catching up on all of our latest episodes. This is the last What If episode that I've been doing. I am obviously doing Skeleton Crew at the moment in cooperation with Clan Mandalorian every Wednesday for a live reaction and review episode. So make sure you're joining us for that. But today we are here, as I said, for the final What If episode. It's been a roller coaster of a season. It's definitely been up and down. And it's definitely kicked off the last couple of episodes. So I was really hoping that this was going to be an epic episode. And let's just recap quickly what happened. So we roll off yesterday's episode of What If the Watcher Disappeared, where he was taken, captured because they were tired of his interference. Captain Carter and her multiverse fighting team of her, Storm, the goddess of thunder, so Storm with the powers of Thor, Kahori that we saw from season 2, and also Birdie that is now a grown up that we saw from the Howard the Duck episode in this season. So they're basically a team that go from universe to universe, trying to stop multiversal threats, as we got to see. But the Watcher disappears. He's taken by them. They come up with a plan that basically they're going to get an Infinity Ultron from a different universe to help them. Carter decides that she can't lose any more friends, so she goes off to try and do it by herself, which is quite stupid, to be fair. And basically, in doing so, she leaves everyone behind. They catch up with Infinity Ultron, and he tells them that he's had a change of heart. He has a bit of a redemption arc, and he wants to help them. So absorbs the powers of the observational shard of the fifth dimension, and gets them enough power to breach the barrier between the fifth dimension and the cosmic universe that they're in. So that's where we pick up on today's episode. So it starts off with a little bit of a flashback, I guess, of how Uatu came into being as a Watcher, and him swearing his oath to the Eminence that he was going to uphold the Order of the Watcher. So it shows a bit of a background of that, and then obviously shows back to the modern time where the Eminence is telling him that he's failed, and obviously shows that he's brought Captain Carter as well, because she's a threat to their order and how they're all heretics now. And then we see Infinity Ultron, or Supreme Infinity Ultron, whatever they've decided to call him, bursting through and taking on the other three Watchers, and the ship crashing through as well, allowing Carter and Uatu to escape. But they say that there's literally nowhere they can go, nowhere they can hide. The Eminence eventually, well, I say eventually, pretty damn quickly, to be fair, dispatches with Infinity Ultron. So his sacrifice, he basically say to them, he's like, "This is what I was originally programmed to do, which was to help you guys." So he's very quickly out of there. And they come up with the idea that if they can get themselves to the universe that Stephen Strange created, because he is in every atom of that universe, and they can maybe take the Watcher's powers away and give them a chance to defeat them. But before they can do that, the Watchers catch up with them, and they look like they're going to dispatch them pretty quickly, because as quickly as they try and fight, they're no match for these particular Watchers, are they? So then Uatu has an idea, and he's like, say the oath after me. And so they say the oath and become Watchers themselves, and all the powers of the Watchers, which is a little bit ridiculous, but I understand where he's coming from. It doesn't seem really as simple as that. You can just say an oath, and even halfway through, he's like, "Oh, forget it. Just say that you accept." And they say, "I accept," and they're donned with the powers of the Watchers. That seems a little bit ridiculous, to be fair. You can't just say one oath or just say "I accept," and all of a sudden that's how you get this power. There's got to be something a little bit more to it than that. Surely you've got to be, adorned with the powers somehow. But they get the powers of the Watchers, and they go up against a big fight up against them, and eventually they manage to overwhelm them. And then there looks like they've won the battle, and Uatu tells them to stop, and gives them a chance to do the right thing, is from what he can see. But and the Eminence is like, you have no idea what's going on. I've no way taught you everything. And then the three of them go up into the sky, and they start this amazing process where they're like, we are literally going to erase you from every universe, every version of yourself that's ever lived, every life you've ever touched, every person you've ever helped. We're going to erase all of that from every single universe, from every single corner of the multiverse. And you can see them doing it there. But it seems like Captain Carter's stubborn will to survive somehow, and this is a bit out there, somehow she manages to start reversing what they're doing, and then jumps up into the sky to, looks like, stop them from doing what they're doing. And after the big explosion, they all wake up. They've all survived, obviously, apart from Carter. And the Eminence goes to use his powers on them because he said it was a futile effort. And turns out he's got no powers because somehow Carter managed to get them to Stranger's universe, where he can depower the Watchers because it's his universe. And then Uatu and the Eminence have a little chat, and he tells him that, there's more out there than just a watching. You've got to learn to see and to listen, and you can change the kind of person you are for the better. And that's effectively how it ends. Bit of a random one, a bit of an ending. I wasn't sure how quite they were going to end this, but I've literally just finished watching it, so I haven't had a chance to look up any of the Easter eggs as I might normally do. I'm not sure how many Easter eggs there really are, but given that this is the Order of the Watchers, and they're a multiversal outfit, surely this has ramifications for every universe, including the MCU's main timeline, the Sacred Timeline, if we go down that route. So it's going to be interesting to see if that does have any bearing. Maybe not, because it's on such a different dimensional plane. But the whole battle was interesting. As I said, turning them to Watchers wasn't particularly fussed with that or happy about that. I don't think that should have happened. But then again, how are you going to give them the sort of power that they can really stand up to the Watchers and put up a fight against them? So I can sort of understand where they're coming from on that front and giving them those powers. Also having them beat, the Watchers said that they've got powers that they've never even seen and they can't comprehend, and yet somehow they managed to bring the three of them down. I guess if they're combining the Watcher powers with their own abilities they already had, there's a chance that they could take the other Watchers down. But I don't buy it, to be honest. But this power that they have, where the three of them start coming together to be able to erase every version of those characters from every single universe and every timeline, that's pretty awesome. That was epic to see. Again, given that I doubt that she genuinely has stronger powers, considering she's a super soldier essentially, she doesn't have powers, cosmic powers or mystical powers like the other ones do. So how Captain Carter manages to start reversing this and jump up and defeat them seems a bit unrealistic, to be fair. Again, with the Captain Carter rhetoric that they bring her in to be the hero, she has been in every season. I know there's going to be people out there that aren't particularly thrilled with that. It is what it is at the end of the day. I don't worry too much about that. But the fact that she seems to be able to reverse the situation and stop them from doing that, I'm not convinced that that's a viable thing, to be fair. But then ending it with the fact that she gets them into the Strange Universe again, how she manages this, who knows? Maybe just obviously the powers of the Watcher. But then obviously Uatu talking the Eminence down at the end and doing that whole "you've got a lesson to learn here" kind of speech, which has been very much the theme of this entire third series. Again, yeah, anyone that knows me, I'm not overly fond of like really happy endings or anything like that. I like seeing a little bit of a bad ending, so to speak, sometimes, and sometimes it don't go the way of the hero. But it is what it is at the end of the day. That's what we got. But yeah, it pretty much wraps up the entire What If. I don't know how you guys all felt like it went down. I think season 1 is still by far the best season they've done of this. I know we're getting obviously spin-off series with Marvel Zombies coming up in 2025, which I'm actually really excited for, because we got the zombie episodes again in season 1. But yeah, season 3, how it rates, I still think the Agatha episode 2, was probably the best one of this particular series. These last 2 episodes were decent. They were good. They probably do sit second and third for me in terms of how the season's gone. You had to expect an epic battle at the end of this series because you are going up against the Watchers after all. So it is going to put it up there. And some great displays of powers, to be fair. But yeah, all in all, I think season 3 probably sits out of the 3 seasons in the middle at number 2. And season 2 probably goes at the bottom for me. I find it quite boring and not nowhere near as good as season 1. Season 1's interconnecting storylines, bringing them all together, was by far the better season for me. But that's it for What If, unfortunately. We get no more of it. It'd be really interesting to hear what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, What If is no more. Obviously, like I said, we've got Marvel Zombies coming next year as a spin-off to this. Considering the endless possibilities you can have with a show like this, to have wasted some of the episodes like they have done across season 2 and season 3 has been a real shame. This is literally a show called What If. You could have done anything. I think one of the most favorited potential episodes would have been What if the other half had been snapped in Infinity War and things like that. The stories that they could have told could have been so much better. So to concentrate around such a core group of characters at times and told what felt like ridiculously filler episodes at times, they could have done so much better. I know they want to like make episodes that people can relate to, but this is a series called What If, where you can make fantastical episodes and make them so outrageous it's completely different. So yeah, it is an absolute shame that we haven't had more out of this series. There was the potential there to do so much more, but it is what it is. We've got what we've got. We've got to rate it on what it is. Is it going to be one of the most memorable TV shows that Marvel have delivered? Probably not at the end of the day. I see this similar to like Star Wars version of like Tales of the Jedi or Tales of the Empire and stuff like that. It's never going to give us every episode that we want, but at times it's delivered some really, really cool stuff. So I'm happy that we've had it. It is an absolute shame that it is over, to be fair. But we move onwards. And that's pretty much it. As I mentioned, don't forget to join me every Wednesday for the foreseeable future, as we are obviously going through Skeleton Crew, and then after that we've got a roller coaster over 2025. But thank you all very much for joining me, and I will catch you on New Year's Day for the next Skeleton Crew episode. Until then, everyone, take care. Thanks very much.
Thanks for tuning in to the Galactic Core Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. But until next time, go get your geek on.